In quite a while. Oh, okay. Now it's on air. Sorry. For a second, I thought it was on air, but anyway, so I'm posting something on Instagram telling people, go watch this live stream. But on this live stream, I'm going to be ranking all the Power Rangers seasons from worst to best. It's just easier this way. If I make a pre-recorded video, it might take up storage. But if I just do this, it's kind of easier. You just get it right out, and you can. And on my iPad, it's hard to upload videos for over 15 minutes. But now you can do this for a while. You may be wondering why I have not done a live stream in a while. The reason why was because my laptop was not working that well, sadly. But let's see, what are the... Ooh. Okay, so I'm just trying out some of the things. Oh, screen share. I like screen share. Yes, here we go. Here's screen share. Anyways, so you may be wondering, okay, yeah, why don't we just stop screen share for right now? But yeah, I'm posting this to Instagram. But for those tuning in, I'm going to be ranking all the Power Rangers seasons from the very worst to the very best. And since there are just too many Power Rangers seasons, it wouldn't work to just pre-record one video. But let me just put this to Instagram so more people can watch. Hold on. So anyway, so later I might add a few. Yeah, later I might allow more people to join. But right now I'm just going to start. Okay, so coming in the worst spot. And by the way, whenever there's a scenario where they have like let's say this season and then super something, whenever they have basically two seasons, two or more seasons, which with like for instance Samurai and Megaforce, they both had two seasons. They had Samurai and Super Samurai. I'll be counting those two as one season, and the same goes for Megaforce. I will be counting Megaforce and Super Megaforce as all one season. And same goes for Mighty Morphin. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers had 3 seasons, so I will be counting all 3 of those seasons as one. So that would, so let's start now with, and then, by the way, this, even though I have like my thoughts down, I don't have anything scripted of exactly what I'm going to say, but I know kind of what I'm going to say. So if I do mess up at points, I apologize in advance. So coming in at the worst is Power Rangers Megaforce and Super Megaforce. This was just a huge blow to the fans. And it almost, in terms of like anniversary specials, it almost sadly makes, it's almost sadly getting to that point where Forever Red is turning into a one-hit wonder in terms of Power Rangers anniversary specials, because this was not a very good anniversary season. Here's the thing: Power Rangers has had 3 anniversary seasons so far. They've had Forever Red, which was the 10th anniversary special. They had Once a Ranger, which was their 15th anniversary special, and they had the Legendary Battle, which was their 20th anniversary special. So unfortunately, though, Megaforce and Super Megaforce just didn't do it. The only one of those 3, Forever Red, Once a Ranger, and Legendary Battle, the only one of those that was actually good, unfortunately, was Forever Red. Forever Red really did a good, not only did it deliver good fan service, but it answered a lot of questions that fans had about, Power Rangers and how that came to be, or how that came to be, or something like that, or how that happened, or stuff like that. Once a Ranger had a great setup, and the things that Once a Ranger did right, and we'll get to all about Once a Ranger later. We'll get into their problems later. But the few things that Once a Ranger did right, uh, were the things that Legendary Battle did wrong. Um, Legendary Battle, first of all, let's start with that since that's the most well-known episode. There was no rhyme or reason to it. I mean, I'm all in favor of a bunch of Rangers returning in a Power Rangers anniversary special. You should have that. But there needs to be a consistent narrative. Like, you can't just say, well, let's just pour all these Rangers in here. No, you should actually have a setup for it. For example, Forever Red, that their setup was that they were gonna have all the Red Rangers from Mighty Morphin to Wild Force team up, with the exception of Rocky, but there's really no way Rocky was able to do that. I think he was originally supposed to be in it, but he wouldn't have been a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, and because they already had Jason, and B, Steve Cardenas was unavailable, sadly. On the ground. That's where I put all my notes about what I'm ranking. But sadly, they just kind of just poured everything in with Legendary Battle. But anyways, getting back to the setup part, with Once a Ranger, well, it wasn't Rangers to sort of be like ambassadors. They get a team of Rangers, but they will all serve as like ambassadors for their seasons. They had all the Disney era seasons up to that point, plus Mighty Morphin, because Mighty Morphin was the most. It was the first, pretty much, yeah. So they got Adam to represent Mighty Morphin as the Black Ranger because his popularity was growing amongst fans, and Tori, the Blue Ranger from Ninja Storm, was the most popular amongst fans up to that point in terms of that season, and Kira was the from Dino Thunder was the most popular in terms of Rangers that season, in terms, but as far as everybody else goes, not really. Well, they were actually. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah. So Kira from Dino Thunder was, and then they had what are their names? Bridge from Power Rangers SPD. Not sure about that option, but I think he was popular, and they already had somebody else. They made Xander the Green Ranger from Mystic Force. Xander was not the most popular. I think Chip was, but I think either A, they said we got her, and they went for the second most popular from Mystic Force, which was Xander. Or maybe they wanted to have both Xander and Bridge. Well, maybe they wanted both Xander and Bridge. But since they needed one Green Ranger to represent, said, okay, we'll have both, but we'll change Bridge so that he's the Red Ranger instead of the Green Ranger, because he went from, in the finale for SPD, he was blue, so we'll make it red, But even Sky said in the SPD pilot that he's not the leader type. But yeah, Once a Ranger at least had a setup, though. But what I'm getting at with Megaforce is, Megaforce, they just said, let's just pour in all these Rangers. And they had no rhyme or reason, and they didn't really explain what had been going on with those Rangers either. It's just like they said, "Ooh, let's get some of the Lost Galaxy Rangers. Oh yeah, and let's get some of the In Space Rangers. Yeah, and some of the former Turbo Rangers, not the original ones who were the Zeo and Mighty Morphin Rangers, but the other ones. The ones that came right after that eventually went on to be the In Space Rangers. Let's get them." Except they were in space after their seasons. They were still in space at that point. So God knows how they got to Earth. But they were just like, yeah, let's bring them to Earth. You know? And there was no explanation about that. And Legendary Battle was also a ripoff of Countdown to Destruction, which was another thing I did not like. And Linkara uploaded his history of Power Rangers, I think even yesterday for Megaforce, and he said exactly what I was thinking about that season. The finale was, I always thought the finale was a ripoff of Countdown to Destruction, and he mentioned that. He said it's the lame version of Countdown to Destruction. The only difference is that Countdown to Destruction was actually good. But another thing about Megaforce was it just had so many missed opportunities. In terms of character development, the characters were just atrocious, completely one-dimensional. Just completely undimensional, one-dimensional. How do I explain this? None of them I really cared for. I mean, Emma was kind of hot, but again, attractive looks do not make up for a lack of character development. And she was kind of that hippie type, which again, Linkara said in his history of Power Rangers, Megaforce. But the Red Ranger I can't remember a lot of their names because I didn't bother to learn their names. I do know a couple of their names because they kept reminding me a zillion times in the theme song by shouting out their names. Like, I remember Noah, and Noah wasn't that good, and the Red Ranger was not that good. And I think the Red Ranger was really a shame because apparently they wanted to make the Red Ranger, they wanted to give him more character development. They wanted to say, all right, let's give this guy. Originally, his father was supposed to drop him off somewhere and say, don't trust anyone, and he was supposed to go off to the military, but they never covered that, sadly. So overall, it was just a mess of a season, to say the least. I would say it was a complete and utter disaster, but that would kind of be an understatement. And the thing is, another thing that really bothered a lot of fans was that they actually spent time and money filming shots of them going into the Sentai suits that weren't used for Power Rangers, when they could have spent their money paying the actors, because that was another scandal that was going on at the time. A lot of the actors were asked back. I don't know of all the actors that were asked back, but the ones that I really do know of are David Yost, can't remember what her name is, but the person who played Aisha, the second Yellow Ranger, and what's his name? Walter Jones. From what I've heard, they originally wanted to do a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers reunion, but since the actress who played Trini is dead, God rest her soul, replacement as the Yellow Ranger for Mighty Morphin, which sounds like a great idea. I mean, I would like to see. There are a bunch of things I'd like to see. Well, there are a couple of options they could have went for an anniversary special. They could have gone with the Hexagon idea, the Power Rangers Hexagon, which I really liked. I would have loved to have seen all these Rangers just fighting each other, and maybe you could say that, maybe Zed is behind the scenes and he's saying, and maybe he sets these villains up to go up against each other, from behind the curtain. Maybe Zed is actually evil again, and he has his power back, but the Rangers don't know that. And he could have set them all up to fight each other for some reason, and that could have been awesome. I just have that image in my head right now. Another thing would have been if they could have done it, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers reunion. But I heard the reason why they didn't do the Mighty Power Rangers reunion was because they didn't pay the actors. Now they actually there was this controversial thing they did where they actually got the Rangers to wear non Super Sentai suits, but they were Super Sentai seasons that were not used for Power Rangers. Um, and they spent money and they didn't do that in the Sentai itself, so they actually had to get those Sentai suits and spend money filming those suits themselves. But because of that, they were kind of out of money in terms of getting the Rangers all together. And apparently, a lot of the Rangers who were asked back said they would have absolutely loved to have done it, except they weren't told until 3 months before they filmed Legendary Battle, which is really a shame because they had been planning this for a while. Um, and they didn't offer them a lot of money at all. So the fact that they spent money on the Super Sentai scenes and not spending money on getting the actors there is just a shame. And I know Saban is infamous for not paying a lot of money. In fact, the reason why Zach Trini and Jason left were because they weren't being paid enough money. The actors weren't being paid enough money in the Mighty Morphin era. Sorry, I just got a text from my buddy Timely TV. But yeah, they weren't being paid enough during that era of Power Rangers. And the fact that, and look, I can understand that in most situations, but this is just one episode, guys, and it's a really, really, really big episode. So they could have just done it for one episode. Sixth Ranger was not that impressive. The Silver Ranger, he was kind of like a male version of Maya, and Maya is like Emma, is attractive, very attractive, possibly the most attractive female Power Ranger, but she didn't have enough character development at all. And like with Emma, it's like Emma, part of my problem with Emma, which is the problem a lot of people had with Emma, was her whole planet turns to stone. Except she doesn't give a crap. And that's the problem a lot of people had with her. And the same thing happened with this guy, the Silver Ranger. It's like his whole planet is destroyed, but he doesn't give a crap. Everybody on his planet dies, and for a while he wants to get revenge, but then he kind of has like a fashion montage, and it didn't work. Every other Saban and everybody working on the show to add more character development, but they just didn't do that. So sadly, Megaforce was just, I know I've spent way too much time talking about Megaforce, but here's the thing. I've had unpopular opinions before, like when I said I didn't like Ant-Man, but I have a feeling I have a feeling that people probably aren't going to be mad when I say Megaforce sucks, because a lot of people, it's often regarded as one of the, if not the worst season of Power Rangers. It is in my opinion, but a lot of people think it's at least one of the worst. But coming in next as the second worst, and for those of you just tuning in, I was just talking about Megaforce, which was the worst, and now I'm talking about the second worst, which is Samurai / Super Samurai. Sorry. Also, not a good season. Not as bad as Megaforce, simply because even though it was just as disappointing as Megaforce, Samurai sort of had effort. Sort of. There were times when it felt like they weren't trying at all, but they did try to add a little bit of drama. But I think my biggest problem with Samurai was The acting, that's another thing I forgot to mention about Megaforce. The acting in both Megaforce and Samurai really, really wasn't that good at all. It felt like, here's the thing. I know it's a kid show. I know you don't have to get really big to do Power Rangers, because especially since a lot of people view Power Rangers as a joke. I mean, if you ask me, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But a lot of people, like a lot of actors, would just say, I don't want to do bloody Power Rangers. But here's the thing, there are a lot of unknown actors who are really good at acting. John Campea from AMC Movie Talk, or with now Collider Movie Talk, said it best. Just because an actor is unknown doesn't mean that they are not good. So they could have gotten an unknown actor who does a really good job. Although, to be fair, it might have been like the Star Wars prequel scenario where they get actors, but they don't really tell them. They don't give them any sense of direction, no constructive criticism. And the acting is just terrible. But really, the acting was almost laughable. It was, I mean, to say would they kept talking like, "Geez, Mia, that's really good cooking. Oh, look, there is a monster. I love flowers. Oh, yes, ha ha ha." Literally, that's how they talked, and no emotion put into their lines at all. It felt like I was watching The Christmas Tree from 1991. Another problem with Samurai and Super Samurai, aside from the acting, was the fact that they're child soldiers. In fact, this is part of the theme of the R-rated Power / Rangers fan film, was child soldiers. And that was the thing about this too. They are child soldiers in this. It's almost like they have no choice but to become Power Rangers. I do not like that about this. But let's get back into more about what I had to say. And one more thing is a complaint a lot of people have had about Super Samurai and Samurai is they almost line for line adapted the Super Sentai. The problem with that is there are things in Japan that just sound better in Japan, you know? It reminds me of the Big Bang Theory episode where they're both talking about Sheldon getting on the radio, and Raj talks about how he was on the radio once and there was the thing he had to say, and it sounded really lame, but in Hindu, in India, sorry, I didn't mean to offend anybody by that, but in India, it sounded better. I think that's the same thing here. A lot of what the lines just sounded better in Japan. Sadly, but hold on. But yeah, so that's why I really didn't like Samurai that much. But hold on. Okay, next. Operation Overdrive. Yeah, next is Power Rangers Operation Overdrive. Didn't really, really like it. I didn't like it at all. This is actually where I quit watching Power Rangers for a while, and I'm reading the text from Hunter who says, "I'm watching your live stream right now." Anyways, so Power Rangers Operation Overdrive was not a good season at all. It felt like they were trying, though, and that's the thing. Megaforce didn't try at all. Operation Overdrive, it felt like they were trying to make a really, really good 15th anniversary, and Megaforce just relied on the other seasons to try and make it a good season. Operation Overdrive actually tried, and I respect it for that. I also really liked Rose, and I liked the Red Ranger. However, every other character was not good. The concept was also not so good. It's mostly just a rich guy teams up with his buddies and they become superheroes. That's pretty much it, unfortunately. I did like the Butler. I loved the Butler. If there's anything I loved about Overdrive, it was the Butler. I like the Red Ranger, the guy who's the Red Ranger. However, despite the fact that I really, really like the guy who played the Red Ranger, I like the Red Ranger, but despite the fact that I like the Red Ranger, I did not like the final episode where the Red Ranger turns into a real boy. I actually liked the plot twist where they revealed he was a robot. I thought it made sense. But yeah, this was where I stopped watching Power Rangers because every other character just wasn't good. And the villains were really, really bad. Really, really bad. And it's just a harder season to watch, especially Once a Ranger. Once a Ranger had a lot of potential, but it was completely squandered. First of all, they made the Power Rangers popular. They made them like icons in society, which I don't get. It's harder to relate to these characters when they're being horrified by society, and I think that's probably why I didn't like the season. It felt like I was just watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians with the Power Rangers, It's like part of the reason Mighty Morphin was such a popular season, part of the reason it made Power Rangers so popular was because you could relate to these characters. You could look at these teenagers and say, huh, I could be those people. Wait, aren't they Power Rangers? Oh, that means I could be a Power Ranger. I mean, some teenagers chosen to be Power Rangers. I could be a Power Ranger. That's what made it so popular. But Operation Overdrive, it just wasn't there, and the villains were not good. The villain faction was a great idea, but again, the villains were just underdeveloped, and you couldn't sympathize for them at all. And the characters, aside from Rose and the guy who played the Red Ranger, weren't good. And there was a huge, like with Megaforce, there was a controversy because that was the year they had for the 15th anniversary, that was the year they had the first Morphicon in 2007. And the cast from Operation Overdrive and Mystic Force and a bunch of other people went. And one of them, there was a poster that was being signed by all the Power Rangers and it was going to go to charity. And the black guy, and that's another thing, they made the mistake of having a black guy play the Black Ranger again. Seriously, guys, step up your game. But they made the mistake of making the Black Ranger actually stole the poster. Well, he quote unquote stole. He took the poster home that was being signed by all the other Power Rangers that was supposed to go to charity. Now, if they said, okay, you can take this home if you want, if he had permission to do it, fine. He had no permission whatsoever to take this home, to take that poster home. So, yeah. So he kind of stole from children. Not good. Next, last one that I genuinely disliked was Power Rangers Turbo. Really not a lot of people liked Power Rangers Turbo. Not a lot of people liked Power Rangers Turbo. This almost got the show canceled. I mean, that's how bad it was. Simply because, again, there were really good things to it, as Linkara has said. It had it tried to stay true to what fans knew and loved. Its finale was great, but they kind of fumbled when it came to the exit of the veteran Rangers. And sadly, it was just too campy. I mean, Power Rangers is supposed to be campy, but this just became overwhelmingly campy. It just felt like, let's try the stuff that we did back in Mighty Morphin all over again. and they did that with what was their names? Divatox. They made Divatox almost exactly like Rita Repulsa. The only difference is that Rita Repulsa was a witch and Divatox was a pirate. But aside from that, they were exactly the same. And they were able to come up with unique villains after Rita Repulsa. You know, Zed was a really unique villain. Um, what's his name? Aside from Zed, who is a unique villain. Um, okay. Oh, the Machine Empire, really unique villains. But then you go back to Divatox, who just didn't hit the spot, sadly. Um, and I think the biggest complaint people had was Justin, Justin from Turbo. Nobody liked him, the Blue Ranger. It made no sense. His morphing sequence made absolutely no sense. Um, but yeah, luckily there was, you know, something good in sight for them. They had In Space, which was supposed to be the last season because it was so unpopular. But um, yeah, it wasn't because of how popular it was. But before we get to our next one, I'm just gonna go here and I'm going to go to the comment section. Did I just end this? I hope I didn't just end this. I don't think I did. Nope, I'm still here. Sorry. This is my new laptop. The reason I haven't done a lot of live streams is because of my laptop. But I'm gonna check the. Let's check the comments now to see what people are saying. Ah, here I am. Here we are. Okay. I'm not gonna have a moderator. I'm not gonna have a moderator. I trust you guys. Let's see. DDS Studio says, sup. Timely TV says, Keck, Power Rangers sucks, mention me. I already did Timely TV. Timely TV, hi. DDS Studios. I thought Super Mega Force was going to be great until what? I can't see. Can't read the rest of the comment. No, I can't read the rest of the comment. I agree. Megaforce sucks. The series was lazy. Yeah. Can I join? Sure. Hi, Mike. Did you see the Gritty Power Rangers short on YouTube? Yup, I really liked it. He did. Power Rangers is too cheesy. Yeah, but I kind of like it for its cheesiness. But I do see what you're trying to say here. DDS Studios says hi. Yeah, let me get through my live stream. Let me. How do I add people? How do I add people? Sorry, this is my first time doing. Oh, here we go. Invite people. I'm gonna give you guys the link, so anybody who wants to join can join. How do I comment? Oh, here we go. Oh, hi, Gabby. Don't know who you are. Let's see. Gabby here. I love music and singing and glee. Well, welcome to the stream.
Wait. Hey, spectacular. Can you see
Oh,
me?
there's DDF.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, you got the links I gave you?
Yes, I did.
I'm sorry I
I just
kept
have
on
to go on
missing.
my other iPad.
I'm sorry I kept on
Yeah.
missing your hangouts because of I use my I use my laptop to do hangouts. I don't use my iPad, but it's
Yeah.
kind of a long story, so I'm sorry. I haven't.
That's okay. I can probably do Hangouts more on my laptop now. It's just at the time, my laptop had broke, so I couldn't do it. But let me get back to my stop screen sharing for now.
Oh,
There we go. Okay.
oh yeah.
So anyway, so those
So
just joining us now, all the Power Rangers seasons. Um,
oh yeah,
and
I won't be here long. I might leave at under 10 o'clock. It's Eastern time.
okay, okay. And by the way, maybe I might be able to tell you more about this villain later. But the villain in Power Rangers Task Force is going to be called Abaddon, and he's going to be a non-Sentai villain, the main villain.
All right.
I won't tell
Was he
you his
the basket
identity
guy? Was
because
he the basket?
he's one of those villains where you don't know his true identity throughout the season until the finale.
Oh,
Again, this depends upon whether I'm just gonna make the pilot, and if the pilot is successful, I'll make it into a season. Also, if the scheduling works out, I'll make it into a full season. But right now, I'm almost done with the pilot. And also, another thing, I don't know where it is. It's not here at the moment, but I just won't be using my iPad as much. But some of the footage from the iPad is going to stay just because I don't want to reshoot it. But yeah,
oh yeah. I'm making a fan film trailer compilation. I'm making some trailer previews. It's coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for it.
mm,
Yeah,
well,
and
that'll be
I'm
pretty.
using your task force. And I think I told you on Instagram that I might use your task force trailer for the trailer previews. So it's
Yeah,
like all some fan film trailers. There's so in the movie theaters. It's like you're going to the movie theaters.
yeah. I saw one other YouTuber did that, and I was thinking about doing that with the Spider-Man, and I still might do that with
Yeah,
the Spider-Man.
yeah.
But yeah,
KR
the point of
presents.
the yeah,
Yeah, he
the
did.
Spider-Man. I'm gonna be filming a lot of the Spider-Man with my new camera. The point of the Spider-Man, a lot of people were wondering like what it's gonna be about. I can't tell you what it's about, but the point of it is to basically show that you don't need big special effects to make a good fan film. You just need a good plot, which is pretty much just free because it's pretty much it's not based off of any of the movies. It's pretty much an original plot. It's almost like a fan fiction. It's like the plot is just completely.
I'm sorry. Well, sometimes you have to. You either you or me lags. I don't know.
Yeah. Did you see the Power Rangers fan film, the gritty one?
Yeah, I kind of like it or I didn't like it. I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm kind of in the
Yeah,
middle.
I saw a lot of people say, yeah, I've seen a split reaction. Like I've seen people like Linkara say they don't like it, and then a lot of other Power Rangers fans say they like it. And the same thing went with the Power Rangers who played the characters. Like Jason David Frank said he didn't like it, and then Austin St. John. He's actually
Yeah, the Red
Jason
Ranger.
David Frank has gotten into fights with Austin St. John before.
Yeah.
Um, but he didn't. Austin St. John liked it. Walter Jones liked it, but he refused to share the link because he thought it was too R-rated for kids that were following him to watch. Um, and almost all the Power Rangers, even though most of them liked it, they said, "Well, it is a little R-rated though." or they said something like that. The only one who didn't say that was the guy who played Rocky, Steve Cardenas.
I was kind of confused with the ending. The twist ending. I kind of didn't like it,
Oh yeah,
but I like the costumes and the Black Ranger fight scene. That was kind of good.
yeah. I like the Black Ranger fight scene. I thought they did Zack really well. I can see why a lot of people didn't like how they did Zack though, because he was snorting cocaine and he was shooting people's brains out. That was the really controversial part.
Oh yeah, this might be. I'm not sure if this is true. You know the two girls that Zach in Zach's bed. There was like two girls.
Those are Divatox and
Yeah,
Scorpina,
yeah.
and they were actually played by actual porn stars. Like they
Yeah,
actually hired porn stars to play them.
that's
I'm
kind of
not
awesome.
kidding. I was
This,
watching the IGN breakdown and they mentioned that. But
so
anyways, why don't we continue with
I'm also
you know
making
what?
a fan film. You've probably seen the Morpher. I'm gonna replace this with the White Ranger Morpher. Probably it's
Yeah.
gonna be about Tommy. I have the Blue Ranger. I have an actor who will play the Blue Ranger. So it's just gonna
Billy?
be the Blue Ranger and the Blue Ranger. No red or the
Like
rest.
Billy? The guy's playing Billy?
Yeah, my one of my best friends. I asked him to play Billy. It's not gonna be Billy's not gonna have a big appearance. It's just only gonna be Tommy.
Yeah. The guy who played Billy, there did you hear about why he left?
Yeah, I'm kind of confused. Either because they were sexually harassing him or money. I don't know.
Well, no, what I heard was that he was gay
Oh yeah, no, I meant
and
not sexually harassed. I know he was gay. I guess.
he was bullied for being gay. And he was asked to come back to Megaforce, and he said he wasn't going to come back because of the way he was treated, and also because they didn't offer him a lot of money. And Zach said that the guy who played Zach was interviewed, Walter Jones, and he said he wasn't going to come back because he was mad about the way they treated Billy, and so he wanted to stick up for Billy. And Aisha was mad because A, she only had a cameo, B, she wasn't paid a lot, and C, because there was no time in her schedule and it wasn't really worth it. And she said, and I quote, insulting. She called it, quote unquote, insulting. Because they were going to get, even though she wasn't an original Mighty Morphin Ranger, they were going to get all the original Mighty Morphin Rangers plus Aisha because Trini died.
Yeah, but you can't assume Trini died because of the actor died. I mean, how
Yeah,
do you know
nice
Trini
trick.
died? Huh?
Huh? Yes, yeah, the person who played Trini died in 2001 in a car crash.
Yeah, but how you know Trini is dead? I mean, there might be a possibility that she is alive, but
Well, not that. It's not that I'm saying she's dead, but they wanted to get all the original Mighty Morphin Rangers back. And since they couldn't get Aisha, well, since they couldn't get what's her name? The original yellow Asian Ranger that was Asian.
I have a
Trini. They were gonna get Trini back, but they wanted to get them all back together. But since they couldn't get Trini back, they were just gonna replace Trini with Aisha.
Yeah. I actually wish the MMPR would come back with Dino Thunder and Dino Charge. If they don't do it, I'll freak out.
Yeah, well, there was a Sentai team up, and I might do this for one of my episodes. I only use the art. I wouldn't be able to use any actual Rangers, but I might. And this would only be a cameo, obviously. But there was one episode of it was like the Go Busters versus the Sentai that was adapted into Dino Charge, where they had Go Busters, Dino Charge, the Mighty Morphin, and Dino Thunder.
Yeah, I wish that would happen. If the bond ever.
Here's the thing. I'm kind of part of the reason I like Dino Charge though is because it feels unique. Like the other, like Samurai, just felt like they were just trying to copy Mighty Morphin. Well, it felt like with Dino Charge, with Megaforce and Samurai, they tried to recreate the experience of Mighty Morphin, which I can get with Samurai, but with whatchamacallit, Megaforce, it just felt like a full-on ripoff of Mighty Morphin. But I, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like
Anyways,
Dino Charge because, well, they barely use the Sentai footage, and well, Samurai Megaforce, Super Megaforce, they use too much like Sentai footage, and well,
yeah, they didn't
Super
use
Megaforce,
yeah, that was the
and there
yeah,
was the new
Sweat
powers,
was
Super Megaforce.
Sentai,
Didn't
yeah,
like
because
much,
usually
so
with the
I didn't.
seasons, I mean, usually with the seasons, they get an original villain. Like they don't use a Sentai for the main villain. They did for the first seasons with Mighty Morphin, but then they decided, okay, it looks ridiculous when we're trying to dub the Bandora with Rita Repulsa from Jew Ranger. By the way, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that they adapted it from was actually called Jew Ranger.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of Rita, remember her son Strax? You know the son
As if
Strax?
the Black Ranger and the Asian Yellow Ranger wasn't enough, they have Jew Ranger.
Oh yeah, remember Thrax? I'm thinking of using him as one of the bases, is as the origin. I don't know. I
Yeah,
guess I won't use the Operation Overdrive version if you remember
yeah.
from Instagram.
We should
Wait,
make
lagging.
Thrax. The only reason I didn't like part of the reason I didn't like Thrax was because in Operation Overdrive is because it gives me weird images in my head of Zed and Rita doing it.
Yeah, it didn't remind how
Just
I.
like, oh
It
wait,
reminds me of Zed, but Rita.
but it's just that I always have weird images in my head of them having sex because they had to conceive him. So it's just like, oh no, not that image. No, no.
No, sad. You got that in my head.
Yeah. I was just because I remember when I was catching up with Power Rangers and I read the Wikipedia article and it said, "Oh, in Operation Overdrive." And I was looking up all the returns of Rita Repulsa, and they had the Mystic Force one where she was the Mystic Mother, and then it says Operation Overdrive. Oh, they have a son. What? Oh no! Come on! Why is that in my head? But there was one episode of Mighty Morphin where Zed told
Oh
Rita
yeah,
that
speaking
that
about
he
the
wanted
Mystic
a
Mother,
baby.
why didn't like the Mystic Mother like Kane? Why didn't the
Yeah,
Mystic Mother help him?
yeah, but he did say in the Once a Ranger that he despised his parents' goodness.
I don't
But
know.
it's funny because there's actually an episode of Mighty Morphin where Zed and Rita just got married, and Zed says he wants a baby, and he says one that will have my brain and your beautiful looks. Doesn't have his brains or her beautiful looks.
Kind of ironic.
Yeah, and then like Rita is just like, wait, a baby? Oh my god, I need to go now because she got the weird image in her head. But anyways, let's continue with the list. So next, after Turbo is Power Rangers Jungle Fury. This wasn't a bad season. It's just I've seen everybody say it's one of the greatest seasons, and it's kind of just average. Like the villain just felt a little bit generic. His motives felt generic. Um, it just
Okay.
felt like the villain had the normal evil revenge plan. Um, and the resolution where they become good almost felt like a retrend of the Ninja Storm ending, where the two nieces of me. So yeah, I wasn't a big fan of. I mean, I didn't hate, but I kind of am in the middle about
I
Jungle
need to do
Fury.
something. Can I come back?
To the stream.
I have to. No, I have to end my call. Is that? I might
Yeah,
come
that's
back.
okay. Yeah. Okay,
All
you
right.
can come back. Yeah, the link. I'll give you the link. I'll check the comments frequently, and I'll give you the
I'll
link.
try to cut and copy. Is that? Should I?
Yeah,
All right. I got.
the
I'll
link
cut it.
again just in case you can't find it.
All right. Bye. Wait, shit.
Okay.
Why can't? All right. Bye.
Okay. Language. Okay. Sorry for any of the kids that just heard that, but anyways, you don't know what's gonna happen on a live stream, but let's check the comment section. So oh hi Connor. Anyways, let me get back to my stream. Babies. So, anyways, so yeah, so for those of you just tuning in, my list so far from worst to best so far is Power Rangers Megaforce / Super Megaforce, Power Rangers Samurai / Super Samurai, Operation Overdrive, Turbo, and Jungle Fury. Next is Ninja Storm. Ninja Storm is a good season, but it's not a great one. There were problems with it. I actually liked Lothor, but I mean, the biggest problem is the humor went a little bit too far at points. But I mean, even when it went far, you could see that they were trying. I kind of like what they were going for. It was kind of like they tried to reinvent it, but also add their new spin, a new spin on it. It's almost like they tried to respawn the magic of Might spin to it, unlike, which is the mistake Nick has made. And I'll talk about why I like Dino. I talked a little bit about why I like Dino Charge, but I'll talk a little bit more later when I get to it. Anyways. So let me get back here. Sorry. I really like the episode where she goes into another dimension. That kind of got me into, as a little kid when I watched it, that kind of got me into all the parallel universe stuff. Anyways, next, I know I made this number 4 in my top 7 best Power Rangers list, but I've started to see the flaws of it. Mystic Force. Mystic Force was a much darker season and a much more unique season, which is what I really, really liked. Great 6, but there were problems. The villains were not all that great. The villains were pretty bad. Nick wasn't a great Red Ranger. There was a little bit too much focus on him, so I can I can understand that. But I did like its darker tone. Next is one that's underrated. Wild Force. Wild Force. Here's the thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, Wild Force just had a stupid Captain Planet plot." I sort of agree and disagree. I mean, the concept of the "we need to save the Earth." I've never been a big fan of when Power Rangers does that because it almost feels like Al Gore wrote the episode. It almost feels like Al Gore wrote the episode whenever he says, whenever they have those type of things in Power Rangers, whenever they have an environmental thing in Power Rangers. And by the way, anyone who's hoping to join can join the stream. I'm going to copy and paste the link once more for anyone who wants to join the stream. I'm pasting it right now. All right. Let's get back. But one thing that Wild Force really did do well, though, was its team-up episodes. It had some great characters. I loved Cole as a character. He's the type of guy who had to embrace humanity. And it had a lot of drama, too, which I really, really liked about Power Rangers. It had some of the most drama ever. Not as much drama as its past season, which we'll get to, which I love. But it did have a lot of drama. And it had some pretty decent villains, too. I thought it was a great season. And I think it's underrated. I really do. However, let's get on to the next one. So far is Megaforce / Super Megaforce, Samurai / Super Samurai, Operation Overdrive, Turbo, Jungle Fury, Ninja Storm, Mystic Force, and we just did Wild Force. Next is another one that's been moved back from my top 7 list. Lost Galaxy. Now, Lost Galaxy had a lot to love about it. It had some of the best characters. But most of the characters were pretty decent. except for Maya, but Maya's still hot. So yeah, it was also the most expensive season to make. Um, Also, Tina was a great villain. Um, I have noticed some flaws about it, but I still love it. And I think again, this is one of those seasons that's really, really underrated. I think people just expect they raised the bar too high after In Space, but I still really, really liked it, and I think it deserves more credit. Next is another one moved back, Power Rangers Zeo. Still a great season, but a kind of average one, I guess you could say. It was kind of just. It almost felt like they were just continuing Mighty Morphin as a budgetary concern. But I still really liked it. I still thought it was really well done. But again, not really that much to do. Kind of felt like a filler now, but you know. Next is Dino Thunder. Oh boy, how did Dino Thunder not make the top 7? This guy is an idiot. He is insane. How dare he say something like that? That's it. I am done watching this stream. Hold on. Don't get your panties in a bun just yet. I liked Dino Thunder. I thought it was a really, really, really good season. I did. It was just overrated. Don't get me wrong. Mesagog may have been, and by the way, I forgot to mention my Lost Galaxy thing. Tritino is one of the best villains. However, what's her name? What's his name? I guess I should say. Oh, what is his name? Mesagog. Mesagog was a great villain. He's the one. He was the first Power Rangers villain who didn't want to take over the world, but the first one who wanted to commit genocide, rather. However, here's the thing. Say you replaced Tommy Oliver with just a random other person, just an original character. If they did that, I don't think if Tommy wasn't in that season, I don't think it would be as popular as it is. I think it was just the reason I think it was as popular as it became was because it was the big bad. Some of the acting was good, some was not good. Some of the acting wasn't good. But yeah. Okay, we're finally getting in to the top 7. All right, then. Number 7, Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. Brilliant season. Brilliant season. One of the, again, a really underrated season for Power Rangers. Lightspeed Rescue had a lot to love about it. It was one of my favorite seasons. It had drama. It had family, it had family issues. Oh, you're back.
So
okay,
wait, where are
so,
you?
Anyway, so we just got into we just broke into the top 7.
Oh.
So number 7 is Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue.
I haven't watched that yet, but I have good feeling about that, and I like the Titanium Ranger.
Yeah, he was the first Power Ranger who was not Sentai.
I like the V design. I like the V design, but from Super Mega Force, I don't know. I kind of like the one without the mouth thing.
Yeah. Oh, the Silver Ranger. I didn't like him as a character, but I still kind of liked him.
I know it's a Halo.
I don't I? It won't get off of me.
All right.
Anyways,
Yeah. So number 6.
but yeah, in Lightspeed Rescue, they have like a lot of family drama because the Titanium Ranger was actually the son of the mentor, and he was also the brother of the Pink Ranger. And what basically happened was they there was this one where they drove off a cliff and his son was about to fall and die, but then
And then the monster. The monster.
this one demon came to the one mentor and said to the Titanium Ranger, he says, well, I will grant you your son's life if you give me him forever. And so at first he refuses because he doesn't want his son to be abducted by this man. But then right after he falls, he decides to agree to the deal. And so his son comes back as the Titanium Ranger, like years later on his 21st birthday. It's an awesome story. And this is the first time that the villains weren't aliens. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Wait. Sorry, I didn't talk.
Yeah, this is the first season where the villains were not aliens.
Oh yeah. What's number 6?
This is number this is number 7. Let's get to number 6. For those, let me just recap for those who are just tuning in. The worst from worst to best so far: Megaforce, Samurai, Operation Overdrive, Turbo, Jungle Fury, Ninja Storm, Mystic Force, Wild Force, Lost Galaxy, Zeo, Dino Thunder, and we just cracked the top 7 with Lightspeed Rescue.
All right. What's
number 6? Number 6 is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers seasons 1 through 3. It's good, but again, it's overrated. I think a little bit just because, again, a lot of people think it's the best because it was the first, but there is a lot of cheesiness about it. I mean, it hasn't aged well, but I mean, I do like the cheesiness about it, though.
Yeah, I kind of
It's
like
not my favorite.
I like season 1 and halfway of season 2, but I'm not counting when the Rocky, Adam, and Aisha became Rangers. I don't like that part. I like the one Jason, Dak, and Trini became Rangers. I want it to be exactly the same way, but it doesn't matter.
They weren't being, yeah, they were left because they weren't being paid enough.
Yeah, I know, but I like them as Rangers.
Yeah. I liked Rocky though. I liked Rocky and I liked Adam and I liked Aisha a little bit, but she wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, and Zach was badass at Once a Ranger.
What do you mean? Not Zach. Adam.
I mean, yeah, Adam. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, mistake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? You know the whole controversy about the Black Ranger being black and the Yellow Ranger being Asian? Whoa, you're muted. What happened? I did not do that.
Talk to my mom. I have to talk to my mom. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Okay. Are you back?
Yes, completely. All right, I'll be right back. I'll have to get some food.
Okay. He's got to get some food. Where do I go next? Number 5 is Power Rangers Dino Charge. And Supercharge, although that hasn't come up yet. But I love Power Rangers Dino Charge so far. I love how unique it is, and the character development is actually pretty well done in it. Like I was just watching one of the episodes with Coda. Coda was great. I love the episode where he was with the little kid. It was great character development. So the characters were actually well done. The acting was fantastic. The acting during this Nick era has not been good. Oh, hi, we're back.
Oh, wait, what
We're talking about.
are you on?
Yeah, number 6. Oh, you have HD. I'm jelly. Anyways, so number 6 is Power Rangers Dino Charge.
Yeah, I kind of like that series.
I love it. It's the only Nick series so far that I like, but hopefully that's a good sign since But yeah, that's number 6. Because I thought the what was their names?
I can
I
read
thought
them.
Kodo was well done.
I'll read
I
them.
liked all the characters. This is the first season when they didn't have a Yellow Ranger though, but I liked all the characters pretty much. And the acting was spot on. And the villain, Sledge, even though he was comedic, I really liked him.
They finally
Although it
barely
is,
used that footage for a while. That's a good. That's
yeah,
kind of a good thing. And
the only
custom
thing,
villains. So
yeah, the
I would
only
love
problem with,
the main villain.
yeah, the only problem with Sledge is if you don't like, if you don't like Lothor, you're probably not gonna like Sledge.
No, I don't like Luthor.
I loved Lothor. I liked how comedic he was. He was the first villain who was actually who kind of accepted how weird Power Rangers
I actually
was.
don't like how Luthor look. I only like how Luthor acts. Like he was funny, but I don't like the way he looks. He would have
I
been
kind
like,
of liked the way he looked. I thought the mask was unique, but I can see why a lot of people didn't like him. But the guy, and the most hilarious part to me was the guy who played the guinea pig also played Lothor.
yeah, they were twin brothers. Even though
Yeah, but they were played by the same actor. I thought that was funny.
that's kind of weird.
It's weird, but I liked it. It was unique. They kind of accepted the cheesiness of Power Rangers. It's just like, okay, yeah, Power Rangers is cheesy. Let's just roll with it.
So so what's after Mighty Morphin?
Yeah, well, number 6 was Dino Charge.
I Dino Charge after that.
So Mighty Morphin. 5 was Dino Charge. 4 is Power Rangers RPM. What do you think of RPM?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of like it. I don't like it. It's like with the Power Rangers slash Power slash Rangers fan film.
Yeah, a lot of people have compared it to it. But I liked it because even if you don't like the Power slash Rangers film, it's dark. RPM is dark, but it also can be funny at moment. It's known for being dark but not gritty, as Watch Mojo has said in their top 10 Power Rangers seasons review.
Oh yeah, remember the Power Rangers and RPM crossover? I kind of like that. That was kind of a good episode. It finally explained.
Yeah, I liked it.
RPM stuff.
I liked it. I know there was not a lot they could have done, but I did like it. I'm surprised they even did
stuff. That's a good thing.
But I didn't like the Megaforce one. If you're talking about the Megaforce one, I didn't like that one. But I liked the one with Sarah. Because they did the one with Megaforce where they went into the dimension. I didn't like that one because they didn't. It kind of screwed up the darkness of the season. But yeah, I liked how dark it was. It was unique. It was the only post-apocalyptic.
Megaforce Hornet changed somehow. It changed into a weird thing. I don't even know what happened.
Yeah. When Kara stated a theory he had in his history of Power Rangers SPD, the theory is that Power Rangers SPD takes place in the same universe, and that aliens who were basically saved by the Power Rangers, or who were helped by Earth, noticed what was going on and decided to come down and help and build a new civilization. And that's how SPD was created and everything, and how all the aliens lived with the humans.
I kind of like SPD. It was my first Power Rangers season I ever watched.
That's a great season. But yeah, so that was the thing that a lot of people, that was a theory a lot of people had, which was that SPD took place in the same universe as whatchamacallit, in RPM. Because think about it.
Yeah, but there's kind of complications. I mean,
because here's the thing. In 2025, Power Rangers is probably going to be still on. Let's assume Power Rangers is still on in 2025. I highly doubt that what happened in SPD is going to be happening in 2025 at the rate we're going. I really doubt that in the next 10 years, aliens will come down and we'll all live with aliens. So eventually they're going to have to explain that continuity thing.
Oh, all right.
So they could just say it takes place in the same universe as RPM, and that after Earth was destroyed. And that's part of again thing I liked about RPM was Venjix.
Uh,
I
yeah,
loved Venjix
yeah. He
because he
reminds
was
me of Skynet. I compared with RPM with Terminator.
yeah, I liked him because he was the first again like with whatchamacallit, Mesagog. He was one of the villains who want to kill us. He didn't want to just take us over. He didn't want to take over Earth. He wanted to kill us all. But they did it differently with Mesagog. They made Mesagog a guy who wanted to turn everybody into dinosaurs. And frankly, I'd rather be a dinosaur than be dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, Venjix was the only guy, was the first villain at least, who basically said, I want to kill these people. And I thought that was really interesting. I also really liked Dylan. The only thing I didn't like about RPM was what was her name? The Tenya girl, the one girl who turned out to be Dylan's sister.
I don't know if I like that one. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't like that part of this season because it felt like they were just ripping off the
In space?
Andros.
Yeah.
But speaking of Andros / number 3. For those of you tuning in, and let me just recap for those tuning in right now. So far, the worst to best is Megaforce, Samurai, Operation Overdrive, Turbo, Jungle Fury, Ninja Storm, Mystic Force, Wild Force, Lost Galaxy, Zeo, Dino Thunder, Lightspeed Rescue, Mighty Morphin, Dino Charge, RPM, and now we're talking about In Space.
I like In Space.
Yeah.
I like the Psycho Rangers. I like the
Psycho Rangers
because of the design.
In Space was basically the thing about In Space was, like with RPM, it was supposed to be the last season, so they said, let's just pull out all the stops. And so they basically made it darker. The only thing I didn't like about In Space, though, was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles team.
Yeah, I don't even know why someone thought about making Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that was the bad part. But everything else, Astronema was a great villain. And the way they killed off Zordon, which was great.
Yes, I was sad. I almost cried.
Yeah. You know what they should have for 20? Because you know 27.
You know the Akared, the guy from the Japanese version of Operation Overdrive, Bokenger, Akared.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't seen.
I wanted Zordon to be Akared. That's what I wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, but here's the thing. You know what I'd like to see, because in 2017 to 2018, they might want to do a 25th anniversary.
Yeah, I don't even know. Are they going to choose two? There's going to be 3 to choose. I mean, more than 3. So what are they going to choose?
Here's my idea for 25th anniversary. Get as many Rangers as possible. Have it be like Civil War, where the Rangers fight each other, because that was originally supposed to happen in Hexagon, which was a season that never happened to Power Rangers.
Yeah, I was scripted my own ideas about Hexagon, but I don't know. They turn out confusing.
Yeah, well, I heard the season was supposed to be. It was supposed to be an adaptation of Hurricaneger, which was used for Ninja Storm. And originally, the Green Ranger, who I liked in Ninja Storm, he was supposed to be Tommy originally. And Tommy was supposed to work for the government. He was supposed to be Nick Fury. Like, they compared him to Nick Fury. He was supposed to assemble these. He was supposed to assemble these youngsters, and they were going to become the Power Rangers, and they were going to work for the government. And the guy who was going to fly their jet was the Green Ranger from
Lightspeed Rescue guy.
Yeah. And what was basically supposed to happen was, they said it was before Civil War happened, but it was very much like Civil War, where the Rangers are fighting each other. And the Navy and Crimson Ranger were supposed to be
the evil, the Dark Rangers, the opposing side of the hexagon, and they
Yeah,
were
they're
like,
supposed to be
right?
and at the very end of the series. And also, they said that one of the Power Rangers was going to be American made, and it was going to be a female Ranger.
It was the Yellow Ranger,
Yeah,
but I heard like
that would
yeah,
mean that would
I
mean
heard
that
that
they,
it came true, sort of. It did. Well, there was that kind of sort of a yellow hexagon ranger. It was a Kiba Ranger. If you ever watched it.
yeah, and obviously, if they were going to have it, then if they were going to make the Yellow Ranger a female, then they wouldn't be able to they would be able to use barely any Sentai footage whatsoever. Because the Sentai version had a blue female and a male Yellow Ranger. But one of the things, and I think that might have been why they didn't do it, because Disney, when they acquired the rights, originally when they acquired the rights, they were supposed to air the rest of Wild Force, then cancel the show, and air reruns. But they were convinced to continue with it, but they said, okay, we'll do this. But if we're going to do this, we don't want to spend money on this, which is why they moved the filming to New Zealand. And why the budget got significantly lower, and why some of the sound effects.
Oh yeah. By the way, after I'm finished with my milk, I might leave the call. I might leave the call after I finish my milk. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
but yeah, at the end of the season, at the end of Hexagon, Tommy was supposed to be the villain.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of weird.
That would have been ballsy. And he was supposed to fight Jason. Ironically, though, the guy who plays Jason has gone to battle with. He's kind of fought with the guy who plays Tommy. They've gotten into fights. And what's his name? Jason David Frank has called him a liar on occasions publicly. You're drawing yourself.
Yes.
You know what they should do for the 25th? They should do that for the 25th. They should have Rangers fighting each other. And you know what they should do? They should have the Time Force Rangers go back in time and meet Zordon before he lost his head. But yeah, they should have like a genesis of the Have you heard of? Do you watch Doctor Who?
I don't watch. I don't watch it. Like I don't watch it. But I like
Doctor Who. In one of the classic episodes of Doctor Who, there was an episode called Genesis of the Daleks where they showed how the Daleks came to be. They should do that with Power Rangers for a 25th anniversary. But what they should do is they should go back in time and meet Zordon before he lost his head.
Yeah, that's kind of a good idea.
That would be awesome. Yeah. And then the Rangers could fight each other because, that would be awesome. And then they could have any Ranger they wanted. Like, they wouldn't just have to say, oh, let's get all these Rangers together. They could just get all the Rangers they wanted. I'm surprised they didn't get Chip for the 20th because they actually got the guy who played Chip to do some voices. Also, did you know the guy who played Decker also played Cole on Wild Force, the Red Ranger?
You heard the actor who played Cole, stabbed his roommate?
Yeah, yeah, what happened was he's currently under investigation.
I was surprised by that.
Yeah. And he also played Decker on Samurai. But let's get to the rest of them. So number 2 is Power Rangers SPD.
Yes, SPD. I like that.
Yeah, that was one of my first seasons. It's funny because whenever I look up commercials from that were on Jetix, I remember them. What year did you start watching Power Rangers?
I don't know. I was either 5 or 6.
What year though? 2000 what?
I don't know. I was 5 or 6. I don't remember. I know I was 5.
Did you watch SPD when it was on? When they were airing new episodes? Because I actually remember watching SPD when they aired new episodes back in 2005.
It might be the year after it was. Yeah, it might be 2006.
Yeah, I watched the episodes while they were airing, which was 10 years ago, surprisingly. But whenever I watch some of the commercials, it's I remember that. I remember watching that on TV. Because did you have Jetix as a kid? Did you have Toon Disney?
Wait, what?
Did you have Toon Disney as a kid?
No.
No, yeah, I had Toon Disney.
My friend gave me the DVD.
Yeah, because I had Toon Disney, and I watched it. It used to air on Toon Disney. If you go online and watch all the promos,
After SPD, I watched Mystic Force.
but yeah,
I kind of like Mystic Force.
SPD was so good. SPD was just so freaking amazing. That was
A Squad. I like the A Squad Rangers too.
Yes, and that was the first one where they suggested that there could be a female Red Ranger. Of course, they'd have to resolve the Sentai thing, but
She is the first female Red Ranger, but not chronologically. I mean, I kind of like the Samurai female Red Rangers. That's kind of sort of the good thing of Samurai.
yeah,
One of the good things.
but I didn't like the team treated her like crap. Like when Kara pointed this out, like they just keep talking about how the original Samurai Red Ranger was the best. But have you seen Linkara's History of Power Rangers?
Yeah, but I'm trying to wait for the History of Megaforce.
Megaforce came out yesterday.
Really? Oh my god, I have to watch that tomorrow. I'm gonna watch this tomorrow.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday. It took me 2 hours to watch the entire thing, to watch all 5 parts. He basically bashes Megaforce.
I need to go to bed right now.
Okay,
so
let me tell you number one right before you leave. Number one is Time Force.
Yes. All right. The Red and the Pink Ranger, the romance. Why didn't they never kiss? I mean, they did to Tommy and
Kimberly. Yeah, just tell me what your favorite one is before you leave.
All right. I don't know. I like the Mighty Morphin in season 1 and halfway of the first half of season 2.
Okay.
All right. I have to go. All right. Bye. And make sure everyone, watch my trailer. If you're a Spider-Man fan or a fan of fan films, watch my fan film trailer compilation. Everything.
Also, can you use the Spider-Man trailer if you're going to do that?
I might not use it because the trailer the day is wrong anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm using voice trailer.
Okay.
All right. Bye everyone.
Bye. Okay. So yeah, number one is Time Force. Time Force was just so great. There was just so much drama to it. Rancic was a great villain, but yeah, that is my listing of all the Power Ranger seasons from worst to best. So I will see you guys later, and I'm gonna end the stream now. Bye.